As the 1940s dawned, the world was already engulfed in the flames of war. Japan, seeking to expand its influence in Asia, was already at odds with the United States and its allies over its actions in China. The world was divided, and the Pacific had become a powder keg, teetering on the edge of a conflict that would envelop nations far and wide. The stage was set for a conflict that would shape the destiny of nations, redraw borders, and alter the course of history for generations to come. December 7th, 1941, began like any other day at the U.S. Pacific Fleet's base in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. The morning sun cast a serene glow over the harbor as the ships rested at anchor. Sailors and soldiers went about their routines, unaware of the approaching storm that was brewing over the horizon. But at 7:55 a.m., that tranquility was shattered by the sudden roar of Japanese planes in a surprise attack, plunging the base into chaos and despair, forever changing the lives of those present. The attack was swift and brutal. In the span of moments, the harbor erupted into chaos. Bombs rained down on battleships, cruisers, and aircraft. The chaos and carnage that followed left the harbor in flames and more than 2,400 Americans dead. The devastation was widespread, and the sense of shock and loss was immeasurable. The toll was not just measured in lives lost, but in the shattered sense of security that had prevailed until that moment, and the stark realization that the nation was now at war, and the world would never be the same again. The USS Arizona, one of the battleships targeted in the attack, suffered a catastrophic explosion that resulted in the deaths of over 1,000 sailors. To this day, the sunken wreckage of the Arizona remains a memorial to those who perished. It lies at the bottom of the harbor, a poignant and somber reminder of the lives lost in the attack. The USS Arizona, forever entwined with the events of that day, serves as a haunting and somber reminder of the lives sacrificed in the defense of their nation, a solemn monument to the bravery and sacrifice of those who served. In the aftermath of the attack, President Franklin D. Roosevelt addressed the nation, famously calling December 7, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States swiftly declared war on Japan, and the die was cast for a nation unprepared for the conflict ahead. Roosevelt's words not only conveyed the gravity of the situation, but also rallied the nation for a resolute response to this unprecedented challenge, setting the nation on a path of unwavering commitment to the war effort. Pearl Harbor galvanized the American people. The country mobilized for a total war effort, with factories shifting to wartime production and millions of young men enlisting to serve. It was a monumental effort that transformed the nation's economy and society. Women entered the workforce in unprecedented numbers, contributing to the war effort in ways previously unimagined. In the face of adversity, the American spirit of unity and determination emerged as a formidable force that would shape the future of the nation, creating an unstoppable industry and military juggernaut. The attack on Pearl Harbor marked a turning point in World War II. The United States, once neutral, now joined the Allied forces in their fight against the Axis powers. The Pacific theater became a focal point of conflict, with the United States and its allies pushing back against Japanese aggression, culminating in battles like Midway and Guadalcanal. From a nation still healing from the shock of attack, the United States emerged as a global force for justice and freedom, committed to defeating the forces of tyranny and fascism, turning the tide of the war in the Pacific and beyond. Today, the USS Arizona Memorial stands as a poignant reminder of the events at Pearl Harbor. Visitors from around the world pay their respects to those who lost their lives and reflect on the enduring legacy of that fateful day. The memorial's presence and the stories it holds ensures that the memory of that day will never fade. As time passes, the legacy of Pearl Harbor remains a testament to the resilience of a nation and the indomitable spirit of those who faced adversity with unwavering resolve, reminding us of the profound sacrifices made for freedom. While the brave men and women of the armed forces were engaged in battles far from home, the American home front played a pivotal role in supporting the war effort. Factories worked around the clock, producing tanks, planes, and munitions. Rationing became a way of life, with families conserving resources for the troops. Communities organized bomb drives to finance the war, and countless volunteers contributed to the war effort on the home front. The dedication and sacrifices made on the home front were the unsung heroes of World War II, supporting the troops and ensuring that the nation's commitment to victory remained unwavering. Just months after the attack on Pearl Harbor, a daring and audacious raid was executed by a group of B-25 bombers led by Lieutenant Colonel James Doolittle. On April 18, 1942, these bombers launched from the aircraft carrier USS Hornet and conducted the first U.S. air raid on the Japanese home islands. While the physical damage inflicted was limited, the psychological impact was immense, bolstering American morale and showing Japan that it was not beyond the reach of U.S. forces. The Doolittle raid demonstrated America's determination to strike back and marked a significant turning point in the war's early stages. The aftermath of Pearl Harbor also saw a dark chapter in American history. Under the cloud of wartime hysteria and racism, the United States government forcibly relocated and interred over 120,000 Japanese Americans, two-thirds of whom were native-born citizens. These individuals, despite their loyalty to the United States, were subjected to mass incarceration. It's a painful reminder of how fear and prejudice can lead to injustice. The internment of Japanese Americans is a stark lesson in the cost of sacrificing civil liberties in times of crisis and the importance of safeguarding the rights and dignity of all citizens. As World War II raged on, the United States and its allies pushed toward victory on multiple fronts. The war in Europe ended in May 1945, following the unconditional surrender of Nazi Germany. The conflict in the Pacific continued with intense battles on islands like Iwo Jima and Okinawa. Finally, in August 1945, the dropping of atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki forced Japan's surrender, bringing World War II to a close. The conclusion of World War II was marked by both celebration and reflection as the world emerged from the most destructive conflict in history, with lessons learned about the cost of war and the importance of peace. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe and join us next time as we continue our journey through history on Partner in History.